Savio Fonseca once said, more money, more problems, less money, more problems. Who the heck invented this money that's creating problems for us? In tonight's story, I guess it's like what Biggie says, mo money, mo problems, although I wouldn't really know anything about that. The victims in tonight's story were some of the wealthiest people in Canada. The couple we're talking about tonight were founders of a pharmaceutical company. Yeah, they were big-time billionaires. So if mo money is mo problems, then this guy had a crap ton of problems, in the form of enemies as the most litigated man in the country. You don't make your first billion without stepping on a few toes, but it may have cost them their lives.
Yeah, so there, if you're on YouTube now, guys, watching us, there's a bear on the background. We're putting this on YouTube so they can follow along with us.
So John and I, this is really funny that you keep saying Winnie the Pooh. So John and I, we played a game the other night, and it was like, tell me, make it like a trivia question about yourself.
Uh-huh.
And so I said to him, "What's my favorite Disney character?"
Winnie the Pooh.
Thank you.
Oh,
like
what the
you knew
fuck?
that right away.
Yeah, because you've been talking about bears the whole time. That's why
because she used to have a stuffed Winnie the Pooh bear.
I know, and now it's got a hole in it.
It doesn't. Oh my god!
Because the dog, not because me
Stella,
masturbating
I
it.
did.
Well, you're the one who brought that up. No one else did.
I did catch Stella one time with my Winnie the Pooh, like playing with it like a toy, and Stella, this was back when she was being crate trained. I was like, Stella's in the crate tonight. Oh no, nobody F's with my Winnie the Pooh.
All right, we got a couple of good comments on the blog. I'm going to start reading these blog comments. Regina Edwards says, hey, I'm listening to you guys from episode 1. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
The sound quality was not good then.
Was not. Much better now.
John learned a lot since then.
And I just listened to the Eli Weaver case, the Amish case.
Oh, God, that was a great one.
That was
a great drink.
It says, I really think you guys...
Haystack.
Yes.
I really think you guys should have a t-shirt that says, just tasing balls? What the fuck?
Was that a catchphrase from that episode?
I guess so.
That was
I don't know. Then Karen said, the drive up to Big Bear Mountain is scary. I really like this episode. LAPD is for real. And P.S. John is my favorite. Thank you so much, Karen.
I have a feeling Karen did not say that.
I mean, I don't know. Oh, I also want to just bring up that I have looked at some of the comments on our YouTube videos, and a common question, John, if you could answer this, is where can they request stories?
Basically, go to the blog talkmurder.com, and you can leave me a comment on any one of the blog posts, and I will see your request there. You can also follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/talkmurdertome.com, and you can leave a comment on the videos, and then Jen can see those.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so that's how you request a story. And I don't have an email address or anything. I'm off the grid. So,
yes.
All right. So tonight's hint is honey pot. So, Nicole, where are we going? Who are we killing tonight?
I feel like I should say Colorado based on what's on the screen for whatever reason.
No. This has nothing to do with the story. I wanted to test the background here on the YouTube video.
But honeypot has something to do with
Yeah,
the
honeypot does.
story.
But this is a random Giphy that I just pulled up.
Okay, well, still, my mind is taking us to Colorado. And isn't honeypot is a girl who's like trying to lure a guy, right? So I think this is like a Black Widow type story.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's a story of how we met. Go ahead, Jen.
Wow. Okay. He went there.
He did go there.
I think we're gonna go to New Jersey, and I think that it is a Hanukkah story. They're playing dreidel, and someone gets into a really big argument.
Someone spins a dreidel so hard it like goes in someone's eye and kills them.
No,
I'm just elaborating on your guess.
No, because you get when you're playing dreidel, you play with the gelt, right? I learned this last night when I went to my friend's Hanukkah dinner.
I've only played dreidel a handful of times in my life.
It was fun. And I was actually pretty good at spinning the dreidel. It just always landed on the put two in one. But someone gets into an argument, a heated argument over a dreidel game, over the honey pot, as you will, of the pot of the gelt, and then goes on a petty, murderous binge.
I wouldn't call that petty.
Well, you did say, did we mention this before? Potato latke was like kind of a hint. Kind of an adjacent hint to the story. / John wanted potatoes.
Who eats potato latkes?
Jewish people.
Jewish people. All right.
Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise. I feel like it's been quicker. This song has been quicker. I think
You've been speeding up the tempo here?
I'm not used to being on the camera, so I'm trying to look at the camera and remember the words of the song and the beat.
You're trying to remember the words of the song? Oh, shit. It's like 3 words, and we've been doing this for forever.
And you got that jingle on your first try.
I did. Also, the other one I did on my first try.
Yeah.
Well. All right, so I supplied the surprise shots tonight, so it can either be fantastic or terrible.
Either extreme. Cheers.
We've had it before.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter whiskey, screwball.
Yeah. I do like that.
Screwball. That's what killed John Belushi.
That's
the cocaine.
Oh, Speedball killed John Belushi.
Speedball. It's like it's not quite right.
All right.
I do have a little bit more.
Oh, so good.
Well, you can pour it in here.
In there?
Yeah, in my drink.
Peanut butter won't go with that.
All right.
Actually, maybe it would. Peanut butter and apple.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. So tonight.
That's not my chin. That was delicious. Refrain.
Taking it on the chin, Nicole. Tonight the hint was honey pot and
good choice of shot, Jen.
Thank you.
And we put all the sources on talkmurder.com, so be sure to go there if you want to follow along. If you're not driving, see the videos, see all the photos, follow the blog post, leave me a comment. You can also go to YouTube and search for Talk Murder to Me, and you can see us on video here, and all the information and photos and stuff will be in the background of the video. But with that method, you got to put up with some banter. If you don't mind that, then go to YouTube.
Yeah, because we don't cut as much. So are my latkes okay?
They were delicious.
Yes!
Oh, Canada, the country we hold dear. All the sexy rhymes also come from here.
I forgot that they're from there.
Yeah.
Visit our sprawling wilderness. You'll probably see a moose. Bring a parka though, 'cause it's really cold, and that we're sorry about.
I love Colbert.
That was Stephen Colbert. He is from Charleston, South Carolina.
Well, he wasn't singing, but that's
that's
true.
the Stephen Colbert show. So tonight here is where we're going. Whoa!
Wow!
Jesus! Oh my God!
I miss what region did we just land in?
Huh?
I wasn't paying.
I was too busy paying attention to my
I was
woes.
escaping the earth.
It's like the north. There's the north.
Well, it's all the north. Wow, they have a pool in this house and a tennis
Yeah.
court. Whoa, we
No.
going to a rich kid's house.
No, one has a pool. The next door neighbor has a tennis court.
I think
Get
this
it
is all
straight.
one
This
place.
is the house right here. If you're looking on YouTube, you can see me going through Google Earth. This home has been on the market for 3 weeks. The asking price of this home was $6.9 million, 12,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms. This is 50 Colony Drive.
That's $1
Old
million.
Colony Drive.
That's $1 million per bedroom.
Damn.
That is correct. So this is it, and let me zoom in. Tell me what you see here.
A wall.
This is the house
Oh my
lot.
gosh! Wow, they
Some
took it
construction.
down.
They took it down. They burnt the whole
Wait,
house
so
down.
it's just the
Or not to
property?
burnt the whole house down. Yeah, so when I was on Google Earth looking at it, those pictures don't sync up, like the space view.
Oh, look at them.
Oh, they're walking their dog.
Yeah, I was looking
cool.
at these poodles.
They're like posing for Google Earth. How
Yeah.
cool is that?
These are poodles, right?
I think
it looks
so.
like it. I don't want a dog where like I have to. They're high maintenance with their grooming. Like
Stella and Hubble would not like that.
No.
They don't like dogs where they can't see their eyes. They don't trust them.
yeah, well that makes sense.
So tonight we did make potato latkes. So this is a Jewish story. So I need to ask the question, can you tell me something about this, about these Jewish people in this story?
Well, I don't know who the people are.
That's correct. They are billionaires.
Oh, so we're just saying that they're good with money.
Oh, okay,
Got it.
John.
What? I didn't say that. You said that.
I'm Jewish too, you know.
You're not fucking Jewish.
She's a quarter Jewish.
Yes, I am.
Or
Oh
are
my
you an eighth
God.
Jewish? A quarter or an eighth?
Well, I don't know. My grandfather was Jewish, so that means my mom is Jewish. So that means
But
that,
your mom was raised Catholic, though, right?
No, my mom was raised.
Guess what I am? I'm American.
Baptist. Okay, so you're an
She
eighth.
was raised.
You're an
well,
eighth.
for like the ethnicity or
Yeah.
whatever. I have Jewish blood in me somewhere, but I'm Catholic, so
Where?
it's complicated. I don't know. Let's see.
All right, go ahead and read this, Naquiz. This is from the Washington Post.
Billionaire philanthropists found dead.
Yikes.
Investigate. Did you want me to
Yeah, just read that sub-headline.
Investigators described Toronto couple's death as suspicious. Wait, that was not the couple walking the dog in the Google Earth, right?
No.
Because they were like posing for Google Earth,
No.
like, "Hey,
Well, they may be the
my
killers.
big break." Oh,
They
okay.
might be in the. I mean, shit. Who knows? They're probably neighbors. So that house that
we don't know anything about the story. We can't say this.
that house that you saw initially when I zoomed down into Google Earth, you saw it from the space view or whatever you call it, Earth view,
Gorgon
view, Gorgon
Touché.
view. And then once I went to Street View, the same house was torn down. And that's because the Google car that goes by and takes pictures of everything isn't synced up with the satellites. So it's two different things.
Well, don't you think that Google has enough money where they could sync that stuff up?
Oh shit. Agreed.
I don't know. But
Wait, so is the house? So is the property?
the house is no longer there.
So the property.
The property just sold for $4.7 million.
Oh, a little under asking.
Just the land.
What? No. Just the land.
Sold for $4
The
million.
home was on sale for $6.9 million.
Right.
The house is now torn down.
Correct.
And it was
That is
sold
like-
just the lot.
So is this land on a lake or something?
That is expensive land.
I thought you were going to say an Indian burial ground. No, it's in Canada. I
That
don't
would be
fucking
discounted
know.
price.
Jesus
No.
Christ, I don't know. What the hell?
That's
Yeah.
expensive.
I'm not a
piece
real
of
estate.
land.
Okay.
I'm gonna call my real estate
Thank you
agent and
for-
ask her.
We're
why.
just saying it's an expensive
much
piece
land
of land.
is
I
it?
get it. Why would you want to live in Canada? Trust me.
Also, yes, it's too cold.
All right, tonight we are reading. Oh no, that's not it. All right, tonight we are reading the Billionaire Murders. Nicole's going to be reading from this book right here. This is by Kevin Donovan. The Mysterious Deaths of Barry and Honey Sherman. The hint tonight was honey pot, and the word pot is going to come in too. I thought it was a perfect hint.
Ooh.
Plus,
Like as in the drugs,
Like marijuana.
marijuana. No, yes, or like a
Did you
cooking
hear
pot.
that the House just passed to decriminalize marijuana?
Like federally.
what house?
Yes.
John Perry's house?
No, like House of Representatives in America, like Congress.
in America. I mean, who knows what Biden
Shit, I'm
and Kamala
buying-
Harris
but
are
they
going to
don't.
do?
But they don't think that it's going to pass the Senate before the end of the year, which means it would have to go back into the.
It is going to be a long winter, and we're going to get high.
It's time to invest in that tweed stock. What was the one that we invested in?
Yeah,
a while?
tweed.
We were
Tweed.
you did
Canopy
invest?
growth.
Canopy Growth.
Canopy Growth.
Snoop Dogg
Snoop's
invests
company.
in it.
Ooh,
Snoop.
I have to do that.
Snoop-de
I
Doop.
just invested.
We no
in my
longer
company.
are, but
Oh. Was it profitable?
No, because we took it all out and invested in Bitcoin like fucking idiots.
It was a long time ago.
I know.
Yeah,
we
this
lost
was a
everything.
long time ago.
We lost
No.
everything, so we decided to start a podcast.
That's not.
Literally, exactly how it's going. So who you're looking
That's
at now?
why we started the podcast because of your Bitcoin investment. Well, shit.
Yeah, shit. So you're lucky.
That's a not totally inaccurate
so I'm
timeline.
lucky that you lost your money.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This right here you're looking at is Barry and Honey Sherman. Have you guys heard of this story before?
Oh, her name is Honey.
Honey, yeah, Honey
You
Sherman.
just said that.
Her name is actually Anna, which I'll get to, but everyone has called her Honey since she was like 3. So have you guys heard of this story?
No.
It's not really well known, and it's kind of crazy because this couple, they're the 15th most richest couple in
Wow.
Canada.
Wow. May I just make a comment that that guy in the corner kind of looks like Jeffrey Epstein?
He
yeah.
does.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
You don't think it is? No, it's not.
You never know. They're billionaires. They could know him.
They can run in the same
Oh,
circles.
yeah. They definitely know. So billionaires out there know this story. This story,
Because they don't want to end up like them.
here's the crazy thing about this story, as you're about to see. A billionaire couple gets murdered, and
No one hears of it.
literally. Well, let me just break
Is
the
it
news for
because
you.
they're Canadian?
This is going to shock the shit out of you. But the Canadian police did an awful job with this case. I know that's shocking to
Well, we
hear.
haven't necessarily talked about police in Canada doing a bad job. We've talked about the judicial system in Canada doing a bad job on some things.
All right, tonight we're going to Friday, December 15th, 2017, 8:30 a.m.
It's like so close to this time right now.
Exactly.
So were
actually,
they celebrating Hanukkah? Was it
They-
Hanukkah December 15th?
That's a very good question. I'll say this right now. The cleaning lady, because they have they're billionaires. They have all kinds of people at the house. The cleaning lady had promised Honey, the wife there on the right, that she would help her make potato latkes for Hanukkah, and they were going to do spin the menorah or whatever.
Oh, you spin
No.
the dreidel.
No.
You light the menorah.
Close though. We need to get a menorah.
I know that. I that was a reference to American Psycho. You
Was
spin the dreidel. Yeah, you don't know.
I don't
okay.
can't remember. Oh well, Jen fell asleep in that movie.
Yeah, I did fall asleep. Much like any other movie I watched.
Yeah.
Actually, I did watch the movie Run with Sarah Paulson on Hulu.
Was it good?
It was not terrible.
You know what we watched the other night?
Palm Springs.
That's the movie that I have quote unquote 6 minutes left. Die Hard. We finally watched Die Hard.
Really?
Yeah, it was good.
I know I've seen that movie a lot because I'm a man.
Okay,
and
Jake.
if you're a man, you have to watch it.
All right.
It's a
Peralta.
requirement to be a man. Friday, December 15th, 2017. This is 8:30 a.m. A cleaning lady arrives. Now, this is her regular scheduled visit on Friday. She comes a few times a week, probably every day. I'm not really sure. Another woman comes to water the plants, and there is also a personal trainer that shows up and a dumbwaiter. You guys know what a dumbwaiter is?
A dumbwaiter's not a person.
Yeah, I thought that was the thing that took the
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's a dumbwaiter is a
Conveyor belt.
slot.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's an elevator.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure. A dumbwaiter repair person was there.
Oh,
Well,
repair
I was just testing you guys.
He was trying to see if we were gonna say it was
a dumb waiter.
yeah.
I almost did just to make a terrible joke, but then I was like, no, that's what he wants. You're gonna play into it.
Oh yeah. So we have dumbwaiters here in Charleston.
I'm sure there are.
At the beach houses. So there's a lot of people at this house. This house that you saw, this was the murder house that you saw. That's why they tore. Well, probably not. Well, I guess so. If you're going to pay $4 million for a house, you don't want to be a murder house.
Yeah.
You might as well just build.
I wouldn't pay 50 cents for a murder house.
Build a new. Plus, the house that was the murder house per se, it was built in I think the 80s. I actually have the date
Too
in here.
outdated. Too
It's
much
very outdated.
shag
They called it
carpet.
the quote concrete colossus.
Oh.
Friday, December 15th, 8:30. Everyone arrives. Cleaning lady, plant lady, personal trainer gets there. She's going to go over the personal training routine with both husband and wife. The cleaning lady goes to the powder room, which I had to look up what a powder
It's a
room
bathroom.
was. No, it's not. It is not a bathroom. It's a powder. It's a mirror.
Yeah, like a vanity in the bathroom where you go to powder your nose and put your makeup on.
Okay, do you have a powder room, Jen?
Actually, I have a vanity.
Actually, Jen
I do.
kind of does.
I do.
No, you have a bathroom.
No, my bathroom is separate from my powder room.
But it's not a room. It's like
All right,
a
I'm gonna cut all
hallway.
that. The maid, the cleaning lady, goes into the powder room, and on the floor was an iPhone. And I'm gonna get to this, but it was an older iPhone.
Like an iPhone 2.
I'm not making any stereotypical jokes here, but they were very frugal individuals. and they both had the older phones.
Well, wait a minute. This could have been. This was in 2017. The iPhone 4.
They literally had she had an iPhone 4. Yeah,
That was in 2017.
no,
though.
it was not.
No, it wasn't.
I had an iPhone 7 in 2016. Yo.
Okay, but that's only 3 models
They're
behind.
Billionaires, though. What? What the freak?
I'm just saying. Now knowing that the headphone jack has changed, I'm going to stick with my 6S for as long as I freaking can.
All right, so they go into the cleaning lady goes into the powder room. She finds the iPhone. It's Honey's iPhone. It's on the floor, busted. So she starts to worry a little bit, but keep in mind, this is a 12,000 square foot home.
Shit.
There's a lot of places to be dead at. So she's not going to find Honey very quick. She doesn't know she's dead. Maybe she got hammered on wine and dropped her phone. Nicole does that every night.
So true.
So the master bedroom also had not been slept in the night before because it was unusually tidy. All right, the next person that arrives at the home is this lady right here. She is a real estate agent, Elise Stern Groper. Gropper? Gropper.
How you spell it?
Gropper. Gropper.
Gropper.
Yeah, it's right there. It's on the Facebook thing.
Where?
I've actually heard it pronounced both ways, Groper and Gropper.
Gropper. Now, she is the real estate agent. She's not the primary real estate agent. That the primary one was on vacation. She is the temporary for the family, I guess.
Stand-in?
The stand-in, and she arrives with a lead real estate agent. So there's 2 real estate agents, a dumbwaiter repairer, a cleaning lady, a flower lady, a personal trainer. There were painters, a couple painters. There was a lot of people at this house.
Was this house on the market at the time?
Yeah, it was on the market. So they were getting it prepped. They were actually about to move into a new home that only cost $60 million.
Oh.
$60 million.
And this one was on the market for $6.9 million?
Yeah. So they...
Temp change.
So...
What would a house that is $60 million be like?
Well, have you been to Jen's house? Because not like that. Shit.
Also not like ours, but...
He's not wrong.
All right. So Elisa Groper, she notices a few days ago that there were a couple odd ducks. I shouldn't say ducks. There were a couple odd men visiting the home. So she's been showing the home regularly, right? And she had an appointment that morning, that Friday morning at 9:30 a.m. She was showing some 2 buyers interested from mainland China.
Oh.
China. And they were going through the home. So you have a lot of people at this home is what I'm trying to say during this morning.
A lot going on.
Yep.
Exactly.
But a lot of people are also have had access to the house.
Yeah. And as you're going to see, the couple, Barry and Honey Sherman, they don't believe in alarm systems. They don't believe in security cameras.
Well, that's probably not good.
Yeah, exactly. Because who would want to kill a multi-billionaire? For
No
real?
one.
Jesus.
0 enemies.
Yeah,
What did he do? How do you make billions of dollars?
Yeah, I was
other
gonna
than
ask
hosting
that.
a successful podcast.
A little bit about the home. It was built in 1985. The Shermans, this will become very important. Somebody mentioned they had a few enemies. They had more than a few enemies. Okay, this case is who killed this billionaire couple.
Because there were many people
There were
who wanted
a
to.
shit ton of people that
Well,
wanted to kill
that's a
these
bummer.
people.
It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that they deserved it. But keep this in mind.
I don't feel like if you have to justify I'm not saying they deserved it, but then it's going
All right.
But they were kind of shitty people? Is that what you're going
All right, check this out. The home that they were about to sell for 6.7, they actually got out of litigation. He sued the contractors and recouped almost the entire cost to build the damn thing. because he sued them because they didn't stick to their timeline and they didn't. But the contractors is what I'm saying. They lost everything. This guy took him to court. He's a billionaire. He's got all these lawyers, and this is not the first person he did this to.
Is this how he made his billions?
He's very frugal. Very, very frugal. I'm just saying. And this is one of the things, like the contractors, he screwed over completely. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I read this whole book, and I'm telling you, this dude screwed a lot of people over, including these contractors. So there's one person that wants to kill him right there. The real estate agents, they were walking clients down to the basement. They wanted to see the lap pool, which I was like, what the freak is a lap pool?
They have a pool inside?
No, not a pool, a lap. They have
like
a pool.
Like an Olympic-sized pool?
No, a pool and a lap pool in separate locations.
Oh, wow.
Inside?
No, not, dang it. A lap pool is just a rectangle you do laps in.
Yeah.
We can't even afford that. They had that and a real pool.
What's the difference between that and a real pool?
That's what I had to look up.
Like a fun pool.
No, a fun pool is not a lap pool.
No,
a lap
right.
pool.
Yeah, a lap
we
pool
know.
is like a regular.
A lap pool is what you get into the exercise. You have a pool for exercising, doing laps.
And then a pool for fun.
Like
You say it like you can afford that shit. Literally, I had to look up what a lap pool is. I was like, who the fuck can afford a lap pool? Like, don't you just have
Were
one pool?
both pools inside or was one outside?
One was outside. Well, I don't know.
The
but
lap pool is in the basement, and the fun pool, like the regular
Do you
pool,
think
was
they had
outside.
waterfalls?
Oh my
Not in the lap
Lord.
pool.
No, not in the lap pool.
All right, so they go
Maybe
down
a
to
diving board.
Maybe.
they go down to the lap pool, the real estate agents, and she notices on the floor, she actually steps on some papers, and she's like, it's just scattered scattered about.
Yeah.
The papers were scattered about. It was actually the home inspection report for the home.
Oh.
And the inspection report was being heavily disputed by Barry at the time, and that was also in litigation. So, I'm just saying, lots of enemies here. Anyway, they get down to the pool, and if you want to read this is from the book Billionaire Murders.
I just feel like if the home inspection report was being disputed, like, don't you think that he would be able to take the people who did the work on the house to court instead of the inspector?
This guy took everybody to court in his career, as you're about to see. He was the most litigated person in Canada.
Wow.
Exactly. I mean, at the time of his death, there was like hundreds of litigations going on with this guy.
Sounds
There's
like
a
something going on
lot
in the
of
United States
people.
currently.
There's a lot of people that would want to kill this dude. Okay? I'm just saying. A
All
lot of
right.
people want to kill this guy,
Interesting.
but not his wife. I mean, why? So when you think about this, both
Well,
of them
she's
are
also dead.
exactly. So
Right.
is that revenge or is that personal? We'll get to that. Go ahead.
Stern stopped abruptly, not letting the clients advance.
Oh, I am so sorry.
She said, and then turned suddenly.
It's a girl, you know that, right?
Oh, I am so sorry.
She said, then turned suddenly and pushed the small group back.
They are doing yoga. We'll come back.
In an instant, Stern's eyes had swept the rectangular room. She had taken the strange tableau and reacted.
Thank you. This is the lap pool right here.
Oh, and a jacuzzi.
Very 80s.
Oh, Jesus. They do have a jacuzzi. Well, son of a bitch. They had to push this button to open the door. They get into the lap pool room. Then the real estate agent immediately jumps back because she thinks that the couple, Barry and Honey, his wife, are doing yoga. So she says, whoa, they're in here doing private things. We got to go back. Now, it says in the book that she is used to seeing clients when she shows their house. These wealthy people, they do all kinds of crazy stuff. So she's not really, she doesn't think anything about it. Now, the other agent, however, was very pissed because he sees what he thinks are Halloween decorations hanging up here in this lap pool. If you look at the railing right there, hanging from the railing, the front railing, was what he thought was two scary ghouls from Halloween. But this is December. And the reason he's pissed is because the ones that he's showing the house to are from mainland China, and that is a bad omen. Now, The real estate agent asked the cleaning lady to go out downstairs and take out the Halloween decorations or tell the couple to stop doing yoga, and she does. And she comes back upstairs and she screams.
Because they were bodies.
Because they were bodies.
Do you think that the real estate agent actually thought that they were doing yoga, or was she just saying that to the buyers?
Well, she tried to push the buyers out. It
Well,
was
that's
just
what I'm
like
saying.
really like, but she didn't know. Maybe they weren't doing yoga. Maybe they were just chilling, but you don't want to disturb them. They're freaking billionaires. They can off you like in a second. I don't know. I don't think she knew that they were bodies, dead bodies down there. Maybe she didn't,
Caught a glimpse. Of
well,
this.
no, she caught a glimpse, but the only reason you think they're bodies right now is because we're doing a murder story and you know. So if you saw that, you may not know, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Barry Sherman, a multi-billionaire, founder of Apotex, right?
Apotex.
Apotex. Barry Sherman, multi-billionaire founder of Apotex.
I literally just told you Apotex.
Apotex.
Excuse me, it's actually
What?
Apotex.
Apotex. A boot
Say
text.
it one more time. Apotex.
No, I don't know what it is. Apotex.
Whatever. That company.
Who gives a
Honey
fuck?
says something about it. She actually says it on video. I forgot. Apotex.
Whatever.
Barry Sherman, multi-billionaire founder of Apotex and well-known philanthropist, was in a seated position, legs outstretched, the right leg crossed neatly over the left, his back to the lap pool. He was wearing his glasses, perched undisturbed on his nose. His bomber-style jacket was pulled slightly off his shoulders and down, which held his arms at his sides. Beside him, Honey, his wife of 47 years, known as the Queen of Toronto's Jewish community, was in a similar position, the light coat she wore also pulled off her shoulders, holding her hands at her sides.
Let's
Well,
go
that
back.
makes more sense why they thought they were just kind of doing yoga or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go back to this pool. Now, the reports came out. No one knew the placements of the body or anything else. So the word hanging was used, which was not the right word for it. Yes, they were hanging, but not hanging like
Yeah.
you would hang yourself from a ceiling fan or something. If you look at that railing, the one on the left, that's where they were sitting. They were sitting facing away from the lap pool.
So their body's towards this angle of the picture.
Yeah, and they were sitting. The Barry had his legs crossed, his right leg over his left, and he was wearing his glasses, and they were neatly like he would wear them all the time. Around both his and her necks were a leather belt strapped to the railing of the pool. So it looks like they were hung there. The bodies had been dead for at least a day. Okay. Rigor mortis had already passed. The bodies were limp. But why were the bodies still sitting up if they were limp? That's correct, because the belts were attached around their neck and then tied to the top of the rail.
But if rigor mortis is set in, does it mean they can't move?
No, rigor mortis is when your muscles tense up, your body tenses up. Rigor mortis has already passed.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing that passed.
Yeah, it passes, and then your body just goes limp, completely limp.
I just thought you're always in rigor mortis when you die.
I don't know. I've never died. Shit. If anyone out there has died, can you please answer that?
Have we gotten an answer about the giraffes?
What giraffes?
What giraffes?
If giraffes are horses with long necks, or if they're another animal?
Yeah,
No.
I forgot about that conversation. It's a good question.
Yeah. Anyway, the bodies were completely limp, but they were both sitting upright. The belt was looped around both of them's necks, so that 2 belts each, which I need to point out, both of the belts,
That's excessive for one person to belt.
no, each one of them had a separate belt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
each one of Barry and Honey both had a separate belt.
Right.
And it's interesting to point out that Honey actually bought those belts for Barry recently, and they were both $9.99 at the discount rack. So these billionaires were hung by $9.99 worth of belts, which is kind of interesting to me, at least. You guys don't seem that interested.
I mean,
the person who grabbed the belts may not have known that they cost only $9.99.
Also, you can't put a price on a person's head, even if they are a billionaire. Like, they're just...
I'm talking about the belts. Why would a billionaire have a $10 belt? I've got a $12 belt.
Oh, excuse me. What is it, Nautica?
All right, big timer.
No, it's Tommy Hilfiger.
Excuse me.
Asshole. They fit with my Jinko jeans. The wife, Honey, had trauma to her face, but this is going to be important. There was no bruising. Why do you think that was?
Because she didn't have time to bruise?
Why? Busy schedule? What are you talking about?
No, I mean, like, before she died, like, she didn't...
Yeah, so when you die, blood doesn't flow anymore. Bruises are the pooling of blood.
Right.
So she had trauma to her face. So there's two scenarios this could have happened. Number one, she was struck in the face and died immediately. Number two, she was murdered and then hit in the face. This theory goes into if the killer killed her in the upstairs hall and then drug her down to the lap pool and maybe she banged her head on the stairs or whatever, that could have caused the trauma, but there was no bruising there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is all really important because this case is currently unsolved and there's recent developments in this case, and they have named, quote, persons of interest in this case, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if this thing gets resolved. But currently there's no information on who did this. So I want you guys to keep thinking about who may have done this. And there's a lot of people that wanted to kill these guys, or at least Barry. If you want to read this is a little thing from News Talk.
Watch striking similarities between Sherman murder scene and sculptures in the family home.
Oh.
So these are some sculptures they found. This is how they were sitting. If you see the man, which is, I believe they were trying to say, I can't really tell.
The man is the closest you can.
Yeah.
Okay,
see.
so he's got so Barry had his right leg crossed across his left leg, like he was sitting like this.
Okay.
So I don't really think these are similar at all. I think they were just trying to make a connection here.
Well, unless that the artists that made those sculptures had a gripe against them.
Well, so here's the thing about that. Like, people were wondering, as you'll see, was the killer really close to the family? Because even the statues showed how they died. But you asked what Barry Sherman does, and I was going to tell you, obviously. He was the co-founder of Apotex, which is a pharmaceutical company.
Oh, wow.
He was the 15th richest man in Canada, a multi-billionaire. The company is actually worth $4.7 billion. He started the company in 1970 with his buddy Jack Kay. If you want to read this is from the book Billionaire Murders.
Murder, suicide suspected in deaths of Toronto billionaire and wife.
Was the bold headline in the print edition of the Toronto Sun tabloid. As the day wore on, the Toronto Sun, the Globe and Mail, and all other media, television, radio, and online had different takes on the same theme. Barry Sherman had strangled his wife and taken his own life, according to police sources.
All right, so here's the thing.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Exactly. The police came out immediately and said it was a murder-suicide, which would be the first in history. Think about it. You kill your wife, you stage her to be hung up on the railings with a belt, then you sit down beside her, wrap the belt around your own neck, and hang yourself from the railing. That seems a little excessive to me. Plus, he has his glasses on like nothing happened.
And
if you were dying, your glasses would be a little crooked. No, they were completely like he was sitting here like, I'm dead, but I look completely normal.
But were there like the vessels, the blood vessels in his eyes? Did it show kind of his asphyxiation? Or
They
was
haven't.
It just...
That information is not available. None of the autopsy reports are available. Anything else is available. But the medical examiner did come out and say that they both died of literature compression, a strangulation. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. I got it in my notes. But they were choked to death. But at first, the police came out and said this was a murder-suicide. Okay? And, quote, we're not looking for suspects at all. Because, and they immediately...
We're not looking for suspects.
That's what they said.
We're just done here.
So the crazy thing about this is that these guys are worth $4.7 billion, and the cops literally don't give a shit. They took them 12 weeks to review the neighbor's security camera. And there was a guy the day after they died drive up to the door and keep going up to the door. It took them 12 weeks just to look at that damn footage. They didn't interview anybody until the news media came out and be like, hey, there was a personal trainer there. Did y'all interview him? Oh, yeah, come on in here. I got to ask you some questions. They didn't interview anyone. Literally.
That's interesting.
They literally did not care, which is crazy because these guys are worth billions, right?
Did the police have a grievance against the Shermans?
That is kind of my theory. But, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, can you read this? First, tell me what amazing news source this is from, judging by the headline.
Daily Mail.
I love the Daily Mail.
Exclusive. My gut tells me he killed her. He asked me twice to whack her. He hated his wife. Billionaire and wife found hanged beside their pool was murder-suicide, not a targeted hit. Their cousin tells Daily Mail TV.
All right, so it goes on to say, it says Barry Sherman, 75, his wife, Honey, 70 years old. This is talking about his cousin, which we're going to talk about, who actually, we got a video from the Fifth Estate, which I love that channel. He actually says how he would have killed Barry because he's been wanting to. So what you're looking at now is the cousin, and I'm going to tell you, the cousin had his own method that he wanted to kill the billionaire, which I'm going to talk about because he screwed over his 4 cousins too. And this isn't just screwing over like, you know, whatever, you killed my dog or whatever. This is billions we're talking about.
I would be super
There's
pissed
some
if he
money
killed my
here.
dog.
There's some money here. All right. This is the couple right here. I'm going to talk about Barry first, and then I'll talk about Honey, and then we'll kind of discuss the case. Barry Sherman, born Toronto, February 25th, 1942, son of Herbert and Sarah Sherman. His mother, Sarah Sherman's brother, was Uncle Lou to Barry. Now, what you read from the Daily Mail, Barry's mother, her brother, his sons, 4 sons, were in litigation suing the billionaire.
Barry. Okay, so the cousins were suing Barry.
The cousins were suing Barry during this time because he screwed them over. Uncle Lou, which was Barry's mother's brother, okay, Uncle Lou is very important in this situation. He died and he didn't murder anybody, but he did start his own pharmaceutical company called Empire Laboratories, which employed Barry.
And then he got the idea from Uncle Lou.
There you go. Barry was, and I put obviously Jewish. I don't know why I put that. And his parents were.
Well,
they were all from the same family.
I don't know why I wrote that. What the fuck? Barry was obviously Jewish, and his parents.
like I can't even have you read that seriously.
It must have been a spell error.
Yeah,
I didn't
obviously.
put that in there. I need to fire my assistant. All right, so he was actually born here in Canada, and both of his parents were born in Canada as well. But so his parents were born in Canada, but his parents, so Barry's grandparents, they fled Germany during the time of anti-Semitism, the real bad anti-Semitism.
I think
Holocaust?
anti-Semitism
No,
is a
before the
kind
Holocaust. This is before the Holocaust.
Did you say is kind work?
It's a kind word. That's a kind way of putting it.
Oh.
It was much more than just anti-Semitic.
I got confused for a second because I heard anti-Semitism was kind work, and I was like, what? Like,
Oh, God. Far from it. No.
No, so this was, I mean, think about it. He was born in 1942. His parents must have been, I don't know, 20 when they had him. So that's 1920. And then his parents before that are the ones that fled from Germany. So, I mean, 1900s, I guess, is when that started.
It's like World War I, right? No.
World War I was like...
I thought when Hitler came to power is
It was
when
in the
they
30s.
started the Jewish...
Yeah, he and Goebbels started planting the seed that Jews were bad people. He had a better than average memory and was adept with language.
But Barry was smart, really smart. Nobody else saw it at the time, but I did.
Ulster recalls.
He was the smartest person I ever met in my life. He could go through layers and layers of information and stay focused on it. He had a different kind of intelligence.
And I get it. He obviously hasn't met me, but
Clearly.
Obviously.
so Barry's father dies when he's 10 years old. He's actually the president of a zipper company, the Zip company.
The XYZ one? The YXZ?
Yeah, XYZ. Barry was 10 years old when his father dies. His father was a president of a zipper company. They weren't rich by any means, but they were doing pretty well, especially since his parents fled from Nazi Germany. And when he was 10 years old, when Barry was 10 years old, his father suffered a massive heart attack. Now, this is Barry right here at 18 when he joined Empire Laboratories.
Okay, a chemist.
Yeah, a chemist. So, let me back up. Barry's mother, her youngest brother, Uncle Lou, started Empire Laboratories.
Right.
And employed Barry when he was 18 years old.
Okay.
This is Barry.
And Barry starts a competing company.
No. Let me get to that. And I want to say, before we go any further, the book that I read, if you were interested in business books, it's actually a really good business book as well. If you like to read those, how people made their money types of stories, it's really good with that.
Like Tony Robbins.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to get sued by Tony Robbins and his trillions of dollars. Okay, he started working at Empire Laboratories when he was 18. Now, Empire was a genetic drug company. You guys understand what that means?
Yeah, like not name brand.
Not name brand.
Generic.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said genetic. I was like,
No,
that's not the same.
I said generic.
Got it.
So, Apotex...
I actually think he did say
No,
genetic.
I did not. Generic.
That's what.
Oh,
But weird that I
defined.
picked up on that.
okay. So,
Wait, but are you trying to define generic or genetic?
generic.
Okay, then I got it right.
So Apotex would eventually become a generic company as well. So how this works, I'm going to run through it very quickly. The government in Canada at the time was sick of paying high prices for medication. These big pharma companies hide behind their, quote, research and development. That's why they charge you so much money. They actually gave right of way to companies like Empire Laboratories and eventually Apotex to try and produce the same pill without stealing their intellectual property as, let's say, aspirin. Aspirin's actually the one that made Empire rich, Empire Laboratories. So they told Empire, hey,
Make your own.
Make your own. We're not going to come after you for anything. You can compete directly on there. The big pharma companies got all up in a stink about it. So they said, listen, if you make your own and you succeed, you can sell it generically and you just pay us 4%, which is hardly nothing. Now, most people that go to the doctor, they're going to get prescribed the real aspirin. Why? Well, because the doctors are taking out the nice dinners from the big bear companies and stuff like this, and they're, buttered up to sell the big pills. But if you're cheap as shit, like
You could
Jen
just buy
or me,
acetaminophen.
you could go and buy
That's
some.
Tylenol.
Oh, I always get those confused. Which is aspirin?
Aspirin.
Federin. I don't know. I'm not a chemist.
I know that
What the fuck?
naproxen is Aleve, and ibuprofen is Motrin.
Ibuprofen. That's what.
Anyway, we got to move on. Apotex would eventually become another generic company. So this is how we got started. Apotex is a generic company. There's another suspect, Big Pharma. There's a lot of people in Big Pharma that wanted this dude killed. Okay, I'm just going to say that.
Fair.
Barry started his education and he was extremely smart. University of Toronto. In his legacy memoir, he recalls, quote, "I specifically chose engineering physics, now called engineering science, because it was reputed to be the most difficult of programs related to mathematics and the physical sciences." That would be the reason I didn't choose that.
Same.
His long-term goal, I would choose PE or home ec or something. His long-term goal was to work at NASA as a rocket scientist. He studied at MIT for astronautics, which I didn't even know was a thing, and aeronautics.
Well, shit.
I think maybe I should write a legacy memoir.
Nah, I don't think you have time.
I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it the Genoirs.
Oh, that's a good title.
Yeah, I can't actually take full credit. My friend helped me think of it, but
That's a
that's
good
what I'm
one.
gonna name it. The
Yeah.
Genoirs.
That's good.
Too bad, like my gin and tonic idea is not an original idea, and someone else already has that name for a podcast, so can't use that.
Yeah. Lou, all right, this is Barry right here. This is him selling his stuff. Lou Winter had a brain aneurysm. And this is one of the first theories. Remember the Daily Mail headline? Guess who the cousins were?
The Winter.
The son, the
kids.
4 kids
Of Lou.
of Lou. So when Barry started working for Lou, he made some really good deals and progress and literally got them rich. So he signed on with Lou, and in a contract, he said, if anything ever happens to Empire, aka me, if I die or whatever, then my sons get equal share of the company assets. Okay. Now, Barry doesn't own Empire yet, but he will. But as of now, the sons for the 4 children of Lou Winter will get equal splitting of the company.
In testimony as part of the lawsuit, the cousins eventually brought against him, seeking $1 billion share in his wealth. Barry Sherman said there was nothing he could have done at the time. I couldn't adopt them myself. I was a kid myself. In reality, it would have been highly impractical. Sherman was 23 years old, single and living in Boston, working simultaneously on a master's degree and a doctorate. Sandy was also just starting out.
Lou dies while the 4 Winter cousins, who were prime suspects, were toddlers. Now, so the uncle should take care of them, right? That's what you do. Well, no, he's 20 years old and he's trying to make his name. He didn't take care of them. That's a big deal. Okay, and there's something else that comes up too. This, who you're seeing now, is one of the Winter twins, the one that they think killed him. And this, he did take a lie detector test for the Fifth Estate, the YouTube Fifth Estate, and he did fail it, but they didn't ask him if he killed him or not. He wouldn't take that test. But some other stuff he did lie about. This is him. So this is a video from the Fifth Estate.
But his lawyer and he refused. So we caught up with Kerry Winter one last time.
His
at a
name is
coffee
Kerry
shop
Winter.
in downtown Toronto to ask about the Sherman murders.
I mean, I had opportunity, I had motive. I can see why the police might say, this guy's also a fucking nut.
And he confessed to us he had indeed fantasized about killing Barry Sherman.
Like I would talk about killing Barry, and it was very graphic. The way I was going to do it wouldn't have been belts. It was going to be in the Apotex parking lot. That was my vision, always, that he'd come out of the building in Apotex and I'd be hiding behind a car. And I just...
If I was his lawyer, I would advise him
I wanted
not
to
to
roll his
speak.
head down the parking lot and I just sit there waiting for the police.
He would roll his head down the
With
parking lot. Now,
Well, he really hated his uncle.
well, here's why. Because the uncle, Barry, should have took care of the toddlers. They're now without the father, okay? Most of them, at least Carrie, became addicted to crack. I don't know about the other three, but he was a crackhead. And the reason he doesn't have all these attorneys is because he's not rich. Literally, his uncle is a billionaire, and his 4 cousins are dirt poor and on crack. Okay? Do you see a motive here? So they thought he killed him, but I don't think he's smart enough to have done this. He looks like an idiot. If you watch the whole video, you would think he's an idiot, which, you know, I mean, he's a crackhead, so he can't be that smart. Anyway, let's go back to the pool, the lap pool. Long story short, Barry ends up buying Empire from Lou when he dies, and he buys that out from under the kids, and they're just toddlers.
So Empire becomes Apotex.
Basically,
Or is
yes.
acquired by.
Well, not acquired by. Apotex was started after, and here's why.
Okay.
He buys Empire and continues to run it under the condition that each one of the heirs, each one of the children, Lou Winter's children, would receive 5% if the company is sold. But guess who didn't bring that up once they got older? And that's a shit ton of money. Then he starts Apotex, which is basically Empire, which is worth $4.7 billion.
But he never sold the last one.
No, he technically did, but he skirted by it because he was supposed to give them that money.
Right, but
But
never
technically now it's Apotex. It's the same thing. He just hid it behind, some paperwork. So technically right now, those four cousins each have 5% stake of a $4.7 billion empire. If that's not reason to kill somebody, shit, I'd feel the same way. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I guess they certainly would have motive, but did they have access?
Here's another motive.
to the
All right,
house?
Carrie Winter, the one you just saw. I don't want to go in this route. He's a crackhead, literally doing crack.
Current, like in that video.
No,
I mean, not like
apparently
in the
he's
video.
rehab. Yeah, he probably went home and did
Okay,
crack.
he's a recovering addict.
Well, he's probably doing crack right now.
We don't know this.
Who cares?
Maybe he's doing well.
Well,
Best wishes to you, Carrie.
Maybe he moved to coke. Anyway, here's what I'm trying to say. He took under Barry's wing. Now, he didn't know about the 5%. And Barry, the murder guy, started giving him all this money. Go start your own business. Go do all this stuff. Be well. But hey, when I give you this money, you got to sign promissory notes. Because you definitely owe me back. This isn't free. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So he's giving him all this money to hide the fact that he owes him 5%. Okay. Then at the end, when this guy, because he's a literal crackhead trying to start businesses with millions of dollars, this doesn't work. Okay, he's $12 million in debt, and now Barry calls back those promissory notes. If you're as confused as I am, trust me, it's fine. But he calls back those. So he definitely has motive to kill him.
And he did it on purpose.
He did it on purpose. That's the thing about this couple. And everywhere I saw, it was like, this is such a sad story. They didn't deserve it, all this stuff. Dude, they screwed over a shit ton of people, and I'm sorry to say, you don't fuck that many people over and not have a damn security system in your fucking house. At least
Probably
get a
not
damn
the wisest
camera.
thing. Get a ring.
They had security cameras in the lap room, what you're seeing now, but they weren't hooked up. All right, let's go back to the murder real quick. All right, so there was no forced entry in the house, which I don't know how police came up with that. There's like 1,000 different doors, and they didn't check any of them. The hyoid bone, now this is very important, was not broken. So the hyoid bone, it helps your tongue move. So when you're hanged. Yeah. No, I know I'm talking about myself. Sorry, I was thinking about myself. When you're hanged like a horse, when you get hanged and you do a long drop, like what they used to do, your hyoid bone snaps. This is because the downward pressure snapped. This may be why the police thought it was a murder-suicide, because the hyoid bones on both Barry and his wife was not broken. Therefore, they were just strangled. And even in hard strangulation, the hyoid bone breaks. However, there was a a medical examiner that disproven that, and he said only 1 out of 3 times if you're getting strangled, it breaks. And the reason it didn't break when they were hanged is because they weren't hanged. They were killed and then staged to be hung like they were hanged on the pole. That's why it didn't break.
There weren't any ligature marks on their neck from the belts?
There was. That's a good question. There were soft ligature marks, but the police didn't even... I mean, they saw the belt marks and stuff like that. There was also wrist abrasions, which the police didn't pick up on. That's one of the 1,000 things.
They were like taped with their hands behind
not
their backs?
taped. They
tied?
Not tied, like a zap strap. You know what police have now in their cruiser cars? Those zip ties that just zip.
Oh, yeah.
You can also get them at Home Depot. But the police use those all the time. You never seen them. They're like the big zip ties, or those are zap
they're
straps.
Already kind of set up like handcuffs.
Yeah, and you just put them on there. So they were zap strapped or something. Now, no one knows or they haven't told us if the arms were behind or in front of them, but they did see abrasions. And I know there's a lot to go over, so I'm sorry. Police developed tunnel vision, obviously. And they never searched for suspects. They always believed it was a murder-suicide. They believed that Barry killed his wife and strangled himself, which would have been the first time in history that something like this would have happened. There were abrasions around the wrist. There was no evidence of the zap straps or any ligatures anywhere in the house. The cause of death was ligature strangulation from a soft ligature. Okay, maybe one of the reasons that police didn't do a good job on this case is because they were quite busy at this time. Do you guys know what also happened around Christmas in 2017? That's correct. We started the podcast, and we talked about this guy.
Oh, that's right, Bruce MacArthur.
Bruce MacArthur. He was one of our first episodes. This is kind of when we started. I did this case right when it came out.
Episode 4?
Yeah.
It was actually episode 5.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but this is Bruce MacArthur. The entire Toronto police, as you remember, were focused on this guy.
Shit.
In fact, when this came out, I never even heard about this.
Wow.
And these are billionaires. And you didn't hear about this.
Well, serial killer, dressed as Santa Claus.
Yeah, I know. But so you see where the focus was. So you can't really blame the police.
Interesting.
Honestly, and plus, I don't blame the police either, man. I mean, these guys have a history of fucking over contractors, fucking over business people, just screwing everyone, man. Like, I mean, even Barry himself said he's waiting for someone to come kill him.
But he didn't have a security system on his house.
Yeah, it's like, dude.
But where does the wife come in, though? What does she do?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to get to that right now. And I'm sorry, I'm trying not to make this 4 hours long, but this is the wife right here. This is Anna Reich, which is a German name. I'm pretty sure Reich. Mm-hmm. I don't mean to talk bad about any one of these people, and I'm sorry I got so talking bad about them, because Honey's actually a very sweet person, and if you want to read this, she was actually on her way back from a golfing retreat. She is a golfer, and she was at one of the best golf courses in the country at Kiowa Island by Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
She just came back from Kiowa after... She actually drove down a road trip.
Whoa, that's a long trip.
What?
Yeah, 18 hours. And not only that, she was driving her, I think it was like 1992 Lexus or something. So you think of a billionaire, you don't think I'm driving a 1992 car. And he was the same way. They're very frugal. But if you want to read this is from the book.
Honey Sherman in detail, the truth would come out. That she was a very real and quite normal person, a billionaire who kept a cheap cooked chicken from Loblaws in a Costco jar, of Moisha's pickles in the refrigerator to snack on, a mother who had difficult relationships with her children, a golfer who would bang her club when she had a bad shot, and a friend to many who, despite her incredible network and tireless efforts in the charitable world and her own generosity to her friends, was always worried she would be left out. Please include me, she would say.
Which I thought it was kind of sweet because everyone's like, well, why are they not talking about Honey and anything else? It's because she was actually a really normal person. And I believe he was too. He was just really frugal, and not to make any stereotypical jokes here, but, he was very frugal and
he was ruthless.
Ruthless
it sounds
too.
Like it,
yeah.
In terms of,
and I mean, come on, man. Like,
litigation.
You screw over that many people, you're bound to get it. Anyway, she actually just came back from a golfing resort, and I thought it was funny. The author of the book says, Kiowa is an island separated from the mainland by Kiowa River. It has bald eagles that soar above, which I've never seen, bobcats that roam the wetlands, which I don't think that's accurate, and offshores dolphins play.
Well, they do have dolphins.
They do. Dolphins, yes.
I've never been to Kiowa.
That's cool. We should go visit Tessie. when
So
this
this was a
pandemic's over.
week. This was a week before she got murdered. She drove back. The trip actually began on November 5th, 2017. And a little bit more about Honey. She had a bunch of ailments. She actually drove herself to her own radiation treatments after she
Wow.
developed cancer. So she is a very strong woman. Both of these people are very strong. I'm just a little pissed off that he screwed over so many people.
Yeah.
But I'm sure at their heart, they were pretty good people. Besides, he was just really ruthless.
There's three sides to every story. What if these people screwed him?
And they did donate a lot to different philanthropic. I fucked that up.
Philanthropic.
They did.
Good effort.
They did donate a lot to a bunch of philanthropic adventures, especially a lot of Jewish-related
that's nice.
charities and stuff like that. So they did put a lot of money into that. Now, I know I'm running out of this quick. This is a big story. This is Apotex right here, what you're looking at. They were last seen on Wednesday. They actually had an appointment with the architects. This is the same architects that they had once sued in court. There were 4 of them that joined. Now, why would you work with the same fucking guy?
Probably
it's like,
not a good idea.
dude, like, no, I'm not going to work with you. Anyway, they came to Apotex. That was a Wednesday, a day before the bodies were the bodies were discovered on a Friday. Honey leaves Apotex in her old Lexus, and then around dark time, Barry leaves, and that's the last time they were seen alive. That Wednesday, they think, not the police, but the author of this book thinks that the murder happened right when Honey got home. She was the first, so she walked in. Whoever was there, whoever did this, was waiting for her. They knew the schedules. They knew that the cameras weren't working in the lap pool room. They knew, for instance, that they knew, for instance, that Barry did not have any appointments the next day and wasn't going to be in until Friday. They knew his day off. That just makes sense. Then after Honey was captured, maybe even killed, then Barry comes home, and either she's held as kind of like, not, what do you call it in the movie? Not hot. Yeah. It's like, give me your money or I'm going to, beat up your wife kind of thing. I don't know what the
Ultimatum.
Yeah. So they have the wife hostage, and then Barry comes home and they're like, threatening to kill her. That could have been one thing.
Yeah.
She could have already been dead. She could have not been dead, and they killed him at the same time. No one knows. And,
So you said there's things out in the news right now.
The only thing out in the news right now is the police have a prime suspect, or a couple prime suspects they came out with, which I just think they're putting that out there because it's the anniversary of the case and they don't want to take any more shit from it. I don't think they have anything.
Well, who are the named suspects?
I mean, they're
not just releasing
They're
them.
not releasing that information. So maybe they'll release it. But honestly, there's not a lot of news about this. And it's crazy because these guys were billionaires, It's like...
Who has their money? Who?
Oh, that's
who
a good
is the
question.
heir to their fortune?
So they had 4 kids, and they're all shitheads, literally.
Their kids could
have
kill
you?
them.
No, they're like adults. And you remember Succession? They just
Yes.
mooch off their fucking father. This drives me crazy. Here is the eulogy by the son, Jonathan, which I think is a D-bag name because he spells his O-N at the end instead of A-N, like a normal Jonathan would spell it.
I did know someone else who spelled it with an O-N.
Well, then fuck that guy. This is the eulogy right here. Just listen how he talks about his dead father.
We are taking some comfort in knowing that you two are together forever, and neither of you had to suffer like we are suffering now. You were like a lock and a key, each pretty useless on your own.
Don't let him fool you, because this guy took millions from his dad, and he kept taking money. He owns this green storage unit facilities, and he spent millions. His dad just kept shoveling him money. And then right before he died, he wanted more millions because they were so in debt, his own son, and his dad wouldn't give it to him. So there's your another suspect. Daddy's dead. I get $1 billion and then my business will work. These guys drive me crazy. This is one of the daughters, if you want to read this.
Caitlin was heard to say that she was finally going to purchase the new car she wanted because her father had recently given her the okay, and that is what he wanted me to do. Caitlin ordered a new Infiniti XO60 sedan within a week.
This was at the house when they all gathered after the parents were dead. She's like, y'all didn't hear this probably, but Dad said I could buy that car. He said it. I swear to God, he said it. I'm going to buy it. You guys, I'm going to buy it. Dude, I read this entire book. They're all shitty people. They're all just mooching off their father. One of them's like, Dad promised me $30 million. He promised me. It was vocal, but he promised me $30 million. It's like, dude. Oh my God, bro.
I heard John promised me $30 million last week.
Yeah.
This was right before he died. This is some other suspects right here.
Barry Sherman was helping to develop pot pill for medical marijuana users.
That's from the Toronto Star.
Oh, so he was going to put marijuana in a pill form.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he does.
Very cool.
So that's one.
Right
plus
on.
Big Pharma. Apotex is known for their Zantac, which is heartburn medication generic model, and that's how they make all their money. So Big Pharma is another suspect. Also, right before he died, he spent $50 million for a Florida generic fentanyl company. Ooh. Fentanyl is like a strong opium. Very strong.
Dangerous.
And that breaches not only Big Pharma with their hydrocodone or whatever that bullshit is, also the Hells Angels are the fentanyl. If you want good fentanyl, you got to go to the Hells Angels.
What?
Literally. Yeah. Hells Angels. I'll give you the fucking Roy's number. Big Roy. They control the fentanyl market. So.
They do?
I don't know. That's what the fucking research said. Fuck, I don't know. But anyway,
I feel like that was not on the episode of Drugs Inc. That's all I'm just saying.
I don't know. Anyway, the Hells Angels might have killed him. He did buy the $50 million for a Florida company, which means because he can't develop fentanyl pills in Canada and ship them across the border. Right. Okay, that's drug trafficking. Mm-hmm. But he can purchase a Florida-based fentanyl company, which is where everyone goes to get it anyway. Florida, they mix it with the fucking shit coming from Colombia, and then they ship it up to West Virginia. You know, that and a bunch of Mountain Dew. They ship that shit up there together.
Perfect pairing.
So that Big Pharma, also his firm was worth $4.7 billion, which was a private firm. No shareholders get paid out. Just 4 fucking snot-nosed kids that don't even give a shit. One of them just bought a new Infiniti. They don't give a fuck. I mean, what are they going to do with that money? Spend it on themselves? The son has spent...
If I had that much money, yes, I would spend some on myself.
The son is like, I'm a businessman. I went to Harvard and all this stuff. This guy has spent like $100 million on this storage company and is fucking broke. And he was in a bitter dispute with his daddy because his daddy wouldn't give him any more money. So, you know. Okay. He was also, like I said, developing the cannabis pills. And this is the recent news here from the New York Post. This is 3 days ago.
Numerous persons of interest identified in murder of Barry Sherman, wife.
All right, so that is the Barry and Honey Sherman case. Any questions?
I hope that there are some leads that come out of it. It's very interesting.
It's very interesting, but never heard of it. I actually saw this their photo before. I did see it a couple years ago, but I never really looked into it. And honestly, it's not really that popular. It's kind of crazy. And I just don't think people relate, man. I mean, can you relate to this guy? What the fuck's a lap pool? Holy shit.
Well, you know what a lap pool is now.
Well, I know what it is now, but I didn't fucking look that up.
Yeah, we do not have a lap pool.
Down here we have above ground pools. Hell yeah.
You mean like blow up pools?
Yeah, the kiddie pools.
But that's the picture of them with
Jerry
tarps,
Epstein.
Blue tarps.
But that's it. That's all I got, man. That's the story. new developments coming soon, but okay story. Yeah, I hope you guys liked it. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. We do stories every Tuesdays and Fridays. I got a really good one on Friday coming out for you guys. I've been looking forward to this. I got a bunch of really good ones coming out. A bunch of celebrity deaths. I'm going to start doing a lot of musician deaths. Some that you haven't
Tupac?
known. Well, no, Tupac. I'm talking about some real musicians, some type of musician.
Jazz?
Yes, jazz.
I couldn't tell what that was supposed to be.
Flute?
Yeah. Jazz flute. Well, now you need to play some jazz flute.
So that was it. That's Talk Murder to Me. We're still doing this shit after 200 episodes. I still ask myself why every time I go to research a story. So, hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't yet. All right, thank you. My name is John, here with Jen and Nicole. Until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely, lovely people.